Merry meet everyone. Tonight's video I'm going to show you how I make an herbal blend. An herbal blend is pretty much the basis for any and all of my workings. I make loose incense, which is an herbal blend. I use blends when dressing candles, when making oils, altar washes, witchy orbs. I even use them in my wand making. Really anything that I do, I find a way to put at least 3 herbs into it, onto it, what have you. It's very important for me to have that connection. I'm very much a fire sign. I love candles, but herbs have kind of beaten out candles as my favorite witchy tool. I can have an herbal blend and not utilize it with fire. I'm fine having an herbal blend even just sitting on my altar. I don't need to have it go up in smoke. But if I have a candle, you're darn skippy, I'm putting some herbs on that sucker. I'm going to dress it. So that's kind of my rundown on why an herbal blend is such an important thing for me, because it is in everything I do. I find it's a great way to incorporate a lot of my intent. It has a lot of base of where I want my magic to go. And it also is very symbolic of energies that I work with, as far as different deities, different spirits, elements, things like that. I know I've said before, I try to incorporate the Lord, the Lady, the spirits of the elements, and the good folk in everything that I do. And herbs is a key way of doing that. So normally what I do with an herbal blend is I'll use 9 herbs. When I say herbal blend and herbs, I do mean also flowers, oils, resins, and I swear there's something else and I'm forgetting it. Oh, spices. I just put that all into herbs, even though they are separate things. So I just wanted to clarify that. So I do use 9 ingredients, is probably a better way of phrasing it, for the Triple Goddess Tripled. That is very special to me. It's very sacred. To further that idea, I do oftentimes say for the maiden, the mother, and the crone as I enter things in. There are times when I won't stick with the number of 9 rule. There are times I do what I call a simple blend, which is just 3 items, or I'll do a 12-item blend, usually 9 items for the spell or the intent, and then 3 additional items for the Lady, the Lord, and the good folk. And then the spirits of the elements, I'll incorporate some other way. For this blend, unfortunately, after I get through all that mumbo jumbo, this blend is very different for me. I have a couple of friends getting married on Sunday. I'm super excited for them, but I realized I haven't done any of their wedding gifts yet. So I need to get on that. So I've got this idea to do 2 witchy orbs. One for the fox totem, because my friend Nicole, her favorite animal is the fox. And for my friend Emily, I'm going to do a witchy orb for the monkey, because she loves monkeys. For my friend Nicole, I do have some leftovers from my fox totem set that I made for my friend Anna. All I really need to do is, I call it reprogramming it. When I make something with a certain person in mind, I program it for that person. If I don't use specific ingredients, like birthstone, herbs to signify that certain person, things like that, and I have leftovers, I have been known, and I know some people will cringe at this, but I have been known to take those and reprogram them. Basically, I ask that they be cleansed, I ask that they be neutralized. Sometimes I'll even hold the herbal blend over some frankincense that's burning, over the smoke to kind of neutralize those energies and clear them out, and then reprogram them, giving them that intent for that other person. This I will only do if the blend is very much able to be used. Again, I'm not when I specified it for that person, it was in words only. It wasn't something where I put a physical ingredient into that blend that was to signify that person and could only be used for that person, if that makes sense. So I do have some of that Fox blend left. I'm not gonna grab it. So I'm going to reprogram that for my friend Nicole and use that for the Fox Totem witchy orb that I'm going to make her. But then for Emily, I've never worked with monkey energy before. That sounds really weird, monkey energy, but that's what it is. So we're going to roll with it. And I did my research, and she is definitely a monkey. It just sounds so funny, but she is. It is totally her. Very playful, yet can be very serious when the time calls for it. Very protective of family and loved ones. Very agile and flexible. Very energetic. She can be quick to anger, as can we all. But it again is that kind of protective fire energy. So I like that. I love working with that kind of energy. And very creative. I didn't realize how creative the monkey spirit was. I started kind of making a list. Whenever I do an herbal blend, that is key. I go online, I go through books, I go through my own notebooks and find magical properties that I have found to be true, that other people cite as being true, for certain herbs, flowers, spices, resins, oils, yada yada. In doing so, I can kind of get an idea of, okay, this is something I want to use. This, probably not so much. I have come across some herbs where when I'm reading about them, I go, well, technically that works. But then when I actually sit down at my altar and start taking out the herbs, I go, no, not really feeling that. For instance, tonight when I sat down, honeysuckle was very much, I'm going to use honeysuckle, I'm going to use honeysuckle. And then I sat down and was ready to get it out. And as soon as I grabbed my little thing of it, I'm like, no, it doesn't feel right. It's not the right energy. It's just not right. So that is something you kind of need to put on yourself. A lot of crafting is something, someone else can show you how they do it. They can show you how they approach it. But it's more of a guide, it's more of a sharing, it's more of a, hey, this is what I do, what do you do, type of a spirit. I personally, I love watching YouTube videos, I love do-it-yourself videos, but I always kind of want to put my own little spin on things. I don't like doing something verbatim how someone else did it. Even if it's just a switch of the herbs, even if it's a switch of the oils. I know, for example, Eric Silvermoon, amazing candle work for his working candle. I had never thought of dressing the candle on the outside with the oil and then rolling it in a few different herbs. I always, when I make my working candles and in candles in general, I usually do a drip candle because I don't make candles from scratch quite yet. So that was typically what I did. And then seeing that video, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could do that with the drip. And that way I get even, you know, I'm not putting all my herbs on top and then having the thing go up in flames the minute I set a match to it, because that gets interesting. I can put it more on the body of the candle and then do the dripping on the top. I really liked that, and I really jived with that. And when I did make a video on using that technique, I did give him credit because it totally was him that showed me how to do that. But I still put my own little spin on it. And I think that's what witchcraft is. I think that's what spell work is we all learn from each other. We all find inspirations and new ways of doing things. That's the fun part of the community. But you always kind of want to put your own spin on things. Some things that resonate with me aren't going to resonate with you. As I'm making this video, you've probably heard a few things that you're like, why would you do that? That's so silly. That's so dumb. Well, that's because it's my way, and it works for me. Might not work for you, but for all intents and purposes, this is what I do. With that said, sorry, I feel like I'm really rambly tonight, and I don't mean to be. I'm just, waning moon leading up to the new moon, I get super energized and just bounce off the walls. And especially sitting at my altar and actually getting to craft, I go a little stir crazy when I can't craft. So really jazzing right now. So anyway, I digress. When I sat down to kind of go through, okay, here's my lists. I want these herbs for creativity. I want these herbs for happiness. I want these herbs for protection. As I was going through and doing that, I went, this doesn't feel right. It doesn't. And anytime, no matter how much of a, this is what I do, no matter how much of a tradition you have, or not ritual, I have lost the word. As much as you may do something a certain way every single time, routine, there's the word. As much as a routine you can possibly have, the minute you sit down to begin that routine, if it doesn't feel right, if it feels different suddenly, stop. Don't force a routine just because that's what you've always done. Do what you feel is right, because every blend is different. Like I said, as much as I like the rule of 9, there are times when I look at my list and go, oh, but I really wanted to add roses because roses relate to hell, and it also relates to this, and it also relates to that, and I want that energy in this blend. I'll have that little voice in the back of my head go, well, then do it. Why aren't you doing it? Do that, and then just add something for the God and the good folk, and there you go. And then you just got to worry about your 4 spirit elements, or 5, depending on that. Even that can change. It's all about how the spirit is moving you at that time. That is so key in crafting. That is so key in spell work. We're all going to have our idiosyncrasies. We're all going to have our ways of doing things. But even our ways of doing things can change dependent on the energies that you're working with and feeling. So, as I was saying, I sat down and started pulling things out and went, nope, not feeling right. The first time ever, I put my list away. I never put my list away. I love my lists. I live by my lists. Even when I'm going shopping at the grocery store, I am the nerd that takes out her little Stilo notepad. That is what I shop with. And I put it away. And I just started going through my herbs and my little jars and kind of smelling everything and going off of everything. And there were some that I looked at and went, I remember you are on my list, like my Angelica root. As soon as I pulled it out, I'm like, yep, nope, I'm using you. And it hit me. That was on my list. Cardamom. That was on the list, I believe, for happiness. I wasn't going to use it, but it was on the list. Because I just wrote a bunch of associations and then pick and chose of those associations what I wanted to use. But then there were some that weren't anywhere on my list. But as soon as I grabbed them and I held them, even in some cases, like the my daylily, I grabbed it and I didn't even smell it. I just took it out and went, yeah, this is happening. I want this in the blend. This feels right. In doing this, it was a little nerve-wracking for me because I like my lists. I like going by order. I like going by reason. I like knowing the energies I'm working with. I have a very basis idea for what everything is that I'm working with is about. But I like having all possible correspondences. I like knowing every little in and out thing. But I think tonight, because it is monkey energy, that kind of creative and playfulness took over. And as I was going through, it was like, no, it's not about organization in this case. It's about throwing things together and seeing what sticks. In the same breath as that is what I am finding to be very much about monkey energy is a lot of intuition work, which is odd. I would never associate monkeys with intuition. I don't know why. Playfulness I get, creativity I get. Maybe I'm being a little too literal. If anyone knows anything more about totem animals, I'm still very much a noob when it comes to totem animals and those energies. But I'm really digging this intuitive vibe and this just going by the seat of your pants and just experiencing it and exploring it and smelling the herbs and just kind of seeing, okay, what sense are you getting? What area are you seeing as you smell this? And the herbs I pulled, the cardamom is a little spicy, a little more on that exotic trail, but otherwise I have very earthy things I'm working with here. White pine bark. Anise has that licoricey scent, and I'm not usually a fan of it, but with the earthy tones, love it. I've got oak moss, lemongrass. I hate this herb because I cannot say it, and I know I'm saying it wrong. Marjoram. I know that's not right. I'm so needing to figure this out. Angelica root, calendula, or is it calendula? I have heard it both ways. I honestly have. Not sure which one is right. So, and then I've got thyme. And as I'm going through, I'm realizing, ooh, I wanted lavender. Do I want lavender? I think I want lavender too. Which is odd because it's kind of, I just saw it sitting over there and instantly that little voice went, oh, you forgot the lavender, sweetie. Yep, it has that fresh scent. I want that fresh scent in here too. And, you know, that's the thing about creating this way intuitively with spirit, is it's just kind of like, oh, wait, I forgot this. Oh, and just going with it. And if you think you forgot something, try it out. You may go, nope, didn't forget it. It's not right. But in that case, oh man, yep, that was what I was missing. So yeah, so I got everything together and started smelling it and kind of feeling the vibes. Very earthy, but very otherworldly as well. When the scents all kind of came together, it's very earth-based, very grounding, which is good because that is very much how I relate Emily. Emily is one of those people where when you are having an issue with something, she tells you how it is. And she knows how to work with people's craziness. On more than one occasion, she and I will be talking, and I have a tendency to kind of repeat myself when I'm in self-doubt mode. And she's very good about, okay, I've already told you this is how it is, and you're still insisting that it's not this way. I can't really tell you any more than I've already told you, so just know that you're not looking at this properly, and once you accept that, then we can reapproach this. And there's very few people that have that kind of patience with me, because I'm kind of all over the place. And she's very good about dealing with that and grounding people and kind of giving you that motherly slap upside the head. And I like that. I love that about her. She is very much an earthy presence. So this vibe, I'm totally digging for her. Okay, so now that we are 20 minutes in, and I still haven't put a single thing in my little bowl, let's get to work, shall we? Now, usually when I do this, again, I am feeling super lightheaded right now. Woo! Yeah, I'm in the zone. Let's do this. Usually when I do this, I am very planned out. I'm very methodical. I have everything in little groups, and I add those little groups usually to my handy dandy little pie tin. I love my pie tin. And then work with those energies, get them all up and cleansed up, then put them in my little bowl. and I put them in groups of 3. In this case, we are going to be very creative and fun about this. Things are just going to go in the pot. We're going to see how it goes. If I need to add a little bit more, we'll add a little bit more. Once everything is in the pot, I'm going to cleanse and bless it. I'll probably do that off the camera because it looks like it's going to be a longer video and I don't want to kill you guys with boredom. So yeah, so tonight I'm going to show you how I kind of go about and do this. I'll probably do, well, I'll do more herbal blend videos because, like I said, I use them for everything. And I do want to show you a more, my usual routine with these. This is kind of an off-the-wall, one-off situation. But I thought it would be good because it kind of shows that magic's never, I don't want to say a for sure thing because it is a for sure thing, but it's never, there's nothing routine about magic. Even when you do magic routinely, you can't predict what it's going to do. You can't predict how it's going to lead you. It's going to be something that is going to come to fruition as it sees fit and as it chooses. It's something, it's very fae. The good folk, the fae, however you refer to them, I see them very much as beings that are here to remind us that life is not about our personal mundane lives. Those are aspects of our life, but that's not the point. And we need to not take things so lightly, and we need to understand that things aren't always about what we want when we want it. It's a much bigger picture, and that is magic. Magic is not about, but I want this and I want it now. It's about, sweetie, you're not ready for this. It isn't your time right now. The universe is revealing you this, so this is what I'll give you. And when it came to this, it was definitely time for me to sit down and do this. But it was not, it was a time to teach me that not everything can be in my nice little notebook and nice little lists. Sometimes you just need to flow with the energy and just be one with the experience. You just need to explore it. You need to just find it organically and be one with it. And I thought that was kind of an important message because, again, I approach these videos very much, if no one else watches it, at least it's a journal for me. And that's a pretty damn important lesson for me. So A, I wanted to share it in case other people could glean some inspiration, and B, it's good to remind myself of. So yeah, okay, let's get down to business. Let's get cooking. I'm going to switch the angle on this because I'm getting better with my camera angles. And you can maybe see, yeah, so handy dandy. All right, so I'm going to start, no, I'm not going to start with you. I want to start with something very basic. I'm going to go with the oak moss. I like oak moss. Oak moss makes me happy. Oak moss is very good for prosperity. It is very good for luck. I use it a lot in correspondence with my patron Kernunos, who is also very much about prosperity. He is oftentimes referred to as the Oak King. So oak moss becomes one of his favored plants or herbs, or however you see it. It's kind of this, you can see kind of this gnarly looking thing. It kind of looks like a little tree, actually. And it's really interesting to work with. When you get it, it's just kind of this thing. So you can just throw it in, and actually with this I don't need to get too fine because it's going in a witchy orb. So I don't need to cut it down too much. But you get it in these chunks and you kind of have to separate them out. I usually just do a quick little pull apart of them. Ooh, my candle just sparked. That makes me happy. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm working with. I want a bit more. So that was Maiden. Ooh, this is a huge chunk. Sometimes things can come out like this. As it's falling apart while I show you. So yeah, again, just kind of rip it apart. While you're doing so, think of the intent. Think of, if you're making it for someone else like I am, I'm thinking of Emily the whole time. I'm thinking of how I want her relationship with Nicole to continue to grow and prosper. How I want both of them to have a lot of luck and good times with their future. A lot of abundance. I want them to both be abundant with their emotions, with their happiness, with their money, because that always helps a new couple, a new married couple. Emily does watch my little girl for me, so abundance with patience in regard to dealing with her. There we go. And a lot of luck. Just luck is such an important thing in a marriage. So let's get that good luck going for them. Alrighty, so I've got a nice little bed here. And again, I'm leaving this, if I was making an incense with this or adding this to, definitely to a candle, maybe even to an oil, I would definitely break this down further. But for a witchy orb, I'm good with this. So right now I'm going to set my oak moss aside because, yeah. Now let's see. I'm going to go with my white pine bark. White pine bark, very much about protection, cleansing, purification. Also very good things to have in a marriage. I'm going to do Maiden. A little bigger chunk for Mother. An even bigger chunk for Crone. And I think I'm going to need to add a bit more to that just instantly. As soon as I put that in there, I thought, oh, I need more. I could easily just pour this in from the bag, but I do like using my hands. I think it adds a bit more energy, a bit more intent. And the whole time I'm kind of thinking how I want their marriage to be protected. They're going to have obstacles. They're going to have things that happen because for some reason, once that little piece of paper is signed, things that don't bug you as much, they bug you 10 times more. Just kind of give them that purifying and cleansing love and protection so that they can see when those obstacles hit, it's not about, now I'm trapped. It's about, this is an opportunity to work past it. Angelica root. I love Angelica root. Angelica root connects you to the angels. It connects you to your higher self. It casts out negativity while pulling in positivity. What more could you ask for out of a magical ingredient? I am telling you. Love, love, love me some Angelica root. Oh, and it just smells so yummy. A lot of times with herbs and such, I'll look for the element that they correspond with. I've discovered fire, oddly enough. A lot of fire herbs are my thing. But Angelica root, although it can be associated, I want to say it's with earth a lot, I actually associate it with spirit, just because of its connection to the elemental realms. Okay, so I've got 3 ingredients in there. I went to grab the lavender, but I wanted to stop for a minute, just kind of smell, show you. So it looks very forest floor right now, which I'm okay with. I kind of like that earthy look, and it smells really earthy, but kind of light and woodsy. I like it. I'm not gonna go with you yet. I think I'm gonna add some calendula or however you choose to pronounce it. This I am using for sun energy because monkeys very much about energy. And I am kind of pulling the petals away from the centers of these, but I'm not going to discard the centers. I am going to add the centers to this too, mainly because these still have all the center of the flower, and that holds an enormous amount of energy. I feel like it's where the seed comes from. It's where the fertility kind of is. In fact, this bad boy, I'm not even going to take the petals off. Just the whole flower can go in there. That's the nice thing about witchy orbs, sachets, anything that you don't need to try to condense or fit into a place. You can be a little bit more big with what you do. And as I put this in there, again, just kind of thinking of the energy I want to put into this. Calendula is very good for happiness and love, which monkeys, I'm sorry, you look at a monkey and you instantly smile. And I think, again, kind of that, hey, look on the brighter side of life type of a deal. This gives you that sun energy and gives you that lesson of the monkey of, you know, life sometimes is about fun. It is about seriousness at times, and that's what the grounding effects are in this. But you need to have some sun with your mundane. And that's kind of what I wanted to add to this. So now that I have, instantly, it's bright, it's pretty. It's got a bit more fun in it. And I'm gonna kind of mix that up. Now it looks a bit odd, but it'll be okay. Lavender next, because it is getting pretty fun in here. Lavender is a great all-around herb. And I'm gonna crush it a little bit as I enter in here, just bruise it a bit. Let those scents, let those oils kind of go out. Oh, my Lanta, yes. We've got great protection in this. You've got calming, you've got love, you've got happiness. Very strongly connected to the Fae, which is always good energy to have. Gonna add a little bit more for crone. It also kind of brings about that maiden feel, which I like. I like for as wise as monkeys can be. I think they do have that maiden energy associated with them as well. So just gonna give that a quick turn. I don't know how well that's picking up in there, but here it's really nice. I like it. It looks very woodsy. All right, cardamom. This I'm gonna use my little spoon for. Cardamom you don't want to do too much of because it really does pack a punch. But it smells really yummy. Maiden, mother, crone. Cardamom, very much about happiness, very much about joy. Add that in there. Thinking about good times. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Since we're on this happiness kick, let's just kick right on over to marjoram, maiden, mother, and crone. Get some of that beautiful green in there for some warmth and love. Emily is very much a warm person, and honestly I have seen so much warmth and love from monkeys as well, so it really works well. I don't know how she'll feel about me comparing her so much to a monkey, but that's kind of the point. Oh yeah, good stuff, good stuff. So now that's what we have. I think I want a bit more of it. Want a bit more green. Yeah, one more. There we go. Sorry if the silences are getting to be a bit much. I'm trying to do this quickly. When something comes to my head, I try to say it. I'm going to put in some anise in this. Or anise. I'm not, again, I've heard it multiple ways. This, kind of like the cardamom, you don't want to put too terribly much in because it does tend to overpower. I'm going to use my little spoon. As much as I love using fingers, it just is a little bit easier. Maiden, Mother, and Crone. There we go. Oh, wow. I am really liking how this is coming together. It still has that very earthy scent. It has that very grounding feel, but there's a lot of grounding in this. So I know I'm saying a lot about love, a lot about happiness, a lot about laughter. It's needed to have a lot of those energies in this to offset the grounding, because as much as she is a grounding person, she is so full of love and so full of life and so full of happiness, and I really want that to come through as well. We've got some lemongrass for some freshness. And again, I'm kind of trying to open it up and bruise it a little bit as I sprinkle it in, like I did with the lemon, or not lemongrass, that's what I'm putting in now. Lavender. Okay. And as I'm doing this, I'm actually adding this. I don't know quite if anyone else has the same feeling. Lemon and lemongrass I associate very much with freshness. With, I guess cleansing would be a word, but it's more about when spring comes around and you start your spring cleaning, so you open all the windows in the house and the sun is shining and the wind is just breezing through your house and you just get that breath as you're kind of getting rid of the old energies and ushering in the new. That is the feeling of lemongrass for me. That is the feeling of lemon peel and lemon. So I wanted that very much in here. I need a bit more. That is one thing that's very freeing about this. In my normal procedure, if I go through and I go, ooh, I really want more of this, or I really want more of that, or oh, if this energy isn't quite balanced, it kind of throws me for a loop, because this is my routine, this is what I've done so far, I don't feel right changing it, and doing it freeform like this is very open. It's very open for interpretation. If something doesn't feel right, I can make it right without kind of short-circuiting my brain. Yep, that's it. Beautiful. Okay, we've done lavender, we've done cardamom. I have done anise. What are you? Angelica root, we've done. I think daylily might be the last bit. So we've got some daylily, which I have wild harvested. I do love wild harvesting. When doing so, I always make sure I have a little bit of an offering or a gift to give to Mother Nature as a thank you for providing me with these wonderful herbs and flowers. The daylily is very much associated with, at least from what I've read, motherhood and kind of that mothering or nurturing energy, which again, very much in the monkey realm, very much in the Emily realm, so it works so beautifully for this. And I also kind of liked it because it brings, I wanted a lot of green and a lot of yellow for this, and it's going to sound silly, but it was for trees and monkeys. You find monkeys in trees and bananas, sorry, trees and bananas. It was kind of funny, it's kind of weird, but that was instantly, the picture I got was a very yellow and green mix. And I'm even splitting off the daylily into these long strands to represent bananas a bit more. That might feel a bit too literal, but it's fun. And seriously, I don't know how this is translating into video form, and I'm sorry this is such a long video, but this is such an amazing experience. I strongly suggest it. Anyone who's looking to craft, but you know, you're not sure what to do or what to make, just kind of meditate for a minute and think about it. And then just say, you know what, Spirit, I'm going to let you guide me. I'm going to let you do this. You take the wheel and just kind of go with whatever you're feeling. It is such an amazing experience. I have not done this until now, and I am definitely going to play around and explore this kind of thing a bit more. Because, yeah, it's good times. Okay, so I think... Whoa, I'm super lightheaded. I am just... I'm tingly all over. This is awesome. I'm sorry. So yeah, so there we go. Again, it might not look great. Is that better? Oh, that's not. There we go. Maybe that's a little better. It's very, it's not very bright per se, but it is very much what I was hoping for. Ooh, yeah. There we go. Hi. It's very woodland. It's very foresty, which I know monkeys in forests, not so much in jungles, but it's not that vibrant green I was hoping for, but it's, oh man. I am just zinging at this moment. I seriously cannot recommend this experience more. Although visually it's not so much what I was hoping for. Oh, there we go. You can kind of see the yellow. It's kind of bright and pretty. There's so many things you can do with it though, and I'll show you that in tomorrow. I'll put up some pictures so I save you from another over 40-minute video. But put some pixie dust in there. Put some pretty feathers. Put some, you know, even to the point of maybe a wooden monkey face. You can be whimsical with our crafts. I love the intent in this is so spiritual. It's so potent. The making of this, although I'm kind of giggly and off the wall and silly while doing it, I am so keyed in and connected right now to this energy that it is just insane how potent it is. This is something that is very serious. It is something that is very close to my heart. It is something that is very much the core of me. But in that same breath, it can be fun. It can be whimsical. When I made a divination oil about sending messages to deity and getting responses back. And the last image I had for, okay, what crone totem animal should I use, was Hogwarts. Was Harry Potter, the owls carrying the messages from the mundane world into the magical realm and back and forth. It's that emotion. It's that feeling. Something magical of me having a vision came, but it was something that was kind of funny and off the wall and whimsical and magical in, well, in kiddie terms. You know, it's... I love our crafts. I love our inspiration. I love where things come from. I love our creativity. I cannot gush more about this. But for goodness sake, let's have some fun with it, people. And I really feel like that is the lesson I was supposed to learn while crafting this. Every time you craft something, even if it's not for you, if it's for someone else, if you're commissioned to make something for someone you've never even met before, there's always a lesson in it for you. Even though I will not burn this, I will not have the witchy orb hanging around for energy. This is not something that is for me. But making it, that is my lesson. That is my experience. That is for me. So harness those energies, work with those energies to imprint them into your craft and learn from them. Take something away. For me, it's have fun. Try new things, explore. It's your craft. It's your pathway. Why not have fun with it? Don't get distracted so much that the pretty things make you wander away from your path. But while you're on it, if you see some wildflowers along the edge, you might as well pick them while you go along, you know? Sorry, Little Red Riding Hood reference came in my head and I decided not to go with it. But the point is the same. Let's have some fun. Let's be vivacious. Let's be us while we craft. I am very much a happy-go-lucky, I'm usually a happy-go-lucky, kind of silly person. But when I get to crafting, it becomes so serious and it becomes so solemn. You need nights like this, where you're making something that is so personal and is so much a part of you. And it is so much more special to you than you could ever convey to someone. But you don't have fun with it. And it's still special, it's still amazing, but it can be fun and uplifting while being this amazing experience and spiritual awakening. I am seriously just in the most amazing state at this moment in my life. And I hope I'm conveying everything that I'm going through right now because it's so cool. And I really want other people to experience this. And if something as silly as, you know what, instead of going with the list, I'm just going to go and grab a whole bunch of herbs and see which smells nice. And, oh, look, it kind of looks like a banana. I'm going to put it in there. If something as silly as that can give me this much of an effect and lesson, I can take a serious lesson out of this. Anyone can do this. You just need to connect. Okay, I'm almost done 15 minutes. I am so sorry that it's taken so long. But ooh, very rarely have I gone just, ooh, and known why. And today it's for a good reason. I'm just, ooh. Thank you so much for watching. For those of you that made it through all 48 minutes of this, you are true heroes. I'm sorry to make it such a harrowing experience, but go have fun today. Go do something just off the wall in the name of the goddess today. Because that's part of our path too. As much, okay. We're starting a channel. No, we don't need to do that. As much as we're here for, sorry, I started crying. As much as we're here for very serious reasons and awakenings and shadow work and let's get down to what the purpose is and everything. We need to have fun. We need to share joy. We need to be positive and send that out into the world. The world needs fun. The world needs laughter. Okay. I think that's more than enough for tonight. I'm so sorry about the length, guys. Thank you for hanging in there with me. And as always, many blessings, sweet dreams, all that jazz. Bye, guys.